I find it hard to do unboxings this early. It's 5:08 in the morning right now. I find I'm not my usual charming self. But I got this box from the Old School NYCGamer. Check out his channel. He's got some good stuff. He made a video where he went to the barcade that I liked, where he was playing Tempest. So we've been talking for a while, and we cut a deal for me to get a hold of this stuff. And he was clearing out some Atari items, and I made some selections, and we'll see what we got. Now this is right after I just finished opening Spider Droid, and I said I wasn't going to get any Atari stuff for a while. Oh boy. Quite a bit of stuff in here. Thanks, man. What is this? Whoa, man. Got some kind of, get close here, some kind of plug and play. Thanks, brother. My kids love these, which is great because now they have something they can play that's not quite so high risk, you know. That's cool. Looks like he threw in some extras. Got this. What is this? The keyboard controller. That is dope. I have the oh, that feels weird. It feels super stiff. That's so cool. I have like a rubber version of this, the one that came with Star Command. That's cool. I've never seen these before. They slide together, I guess. Like that. Awesome. Boy. What a morning. What is this, man? What on earth is this thing? It looks like a light gun. But look at this connection. It looks like a light gun with a phone connection. I'll have to do some research because I have no idea what that's for. It's got that kind of gray that the original PlayStation had. You remember how a lot of original PlayStation gear was gray like that? That's cool. Oh. Now this is cool, man. Guides and stuff. I don't have too much of the paperwork for my Atari games. And Atari, a lot of Atari games, you had to have the guide because the guide would tell you what game selection number did what to the physics. Like you could change the physics of the game. It wasn't as simple as okay, game 1, 2, 3, and that's easy, medium, hard. You know, you would also factor in 2 or 3 more variables, and suddenly you had like 20, 30 game numbers, and you had to know what they all did. I'll get to these after we do the cartridges. Oh, man. This is a big box, dude. This is a big box. Thank you, man. What is this? This is a Narc Tiger electronic game. You must really be cleaning the house, man. That is so cool. I used to love these kinds of Tiger electronic games. I still pick them up at the thrift store when I find them, but it's been a while. The last one that I got was Rugrats. But what's weird about this is this doesn't actually seem like a Tiger electronic game. It says Acclaim on it. If you look at the back, that's Acclaim. That makes this a first-party game, right? I recognize this. That's the way the unique thrift store used to tag their merchandise. I know because we had one around here, right? the unique thrift store around here was a hot spot for me. I'm looking around to see if I still have any old items that have that tag. I'm sure I do. Here, how about this? I bet this has got that on there. This is a classic acquisition of mine. Oh no. Ancient Art of War at Sea is an old game I bought. This is an old PC game with floppy disks that I got at Unique Thrift Store. That they had it with the board games. Well, it's got the later tags though. Alright. Back to the package. I don't know what this is, but isn't that a gorgeous little piece of hardware? Isn't that a gorgeous little piece of hardware? Yeah, I'm gonna clean that little boy up and bring it to work. Sit it at my desk. It looks like an early cell phone, right? Hello. Got a nice tether on it. What kind of batteries does this thing take? A few AAAs. Love a good dedicated handheld. If not work, I can throw batteries in it and put it in the gym bag. When I go to the gym a lot, I find myself waiting on the kids. Oh, excuse me. I know Bithead 1000 tends to get up at 4 in the morning when he records. I don't know how he keeps from yawning through this whole videos. What? What is this? What is this? Electronic cosmic pinball. Sears and Roebuck, Chicago. That is so cool. I don't see any flippers in there except what's drawn on. But that is just the neatest looking thing. My goodness, dude. You went all out. I appreciate it. That's really awesome, dude. We're not even halfway done. Look at this. Video touchpad. This is what I got. I've got a couple of these. Because I've got, I have an unplayed version of Star Command that's got one of these wrapped up that's like brand new. And then I have like an old one that's beat up. So, it's cool to have a third one. I've been considering tracking down a second Atari. So now I'd stick that with the second Atari. A Luigi pouch thing. It's pretty sweet. More with these handhelds. These handhelds are amazing. But I can see... Here's a Mario pouch thing. I can see why you might want to clean house with the handhelds, because they tend to pile up. What is this now? Vibrating pinball. Oh, scandalous. How well can you see that? That is beyond gorgeous. What are we up to with the handhelds now? It's so cool. Oh my gosh. Alright. And I keep saying Star Command. This, it wasn't Star Command, it was Star Raiders. And this I didn't have. This is very, very cool that you put this in here, dude. The paper insert for Star Raiders. I did not have this. The way it works is you got this number pad here, and you put the paper insert right over it like that. Like, I think the one that I have that's brand new might have it. But now I got one I can actually play with. That is super, super cool. Star Raiders is a neat game, but it's one of these Atari games that, like, you gotta know how to play it. You know what I mean? You put in a copy of Space Invaders, you're gonna figure it out real quick. You put in a copy of Star Raiders, you better read that instruction manual. Otherwise, you're not going anywhere. And now, guys and gals, we come to what we actually negotiated over, which is pretty sweet. Star Raiders, a third copy of Star Raiders, which is awesome. Another duplicate for my pile, and then whenever I can meet up with Duke, who lives in the same state as me, I'll have a bag of doubles I can just hand over. Midnight Magic, a pinball game for the Atari 2600, which, from what I understand, is supposed to be far superior to video pinball. When I was a kid, I loved video game pinball. I loved it. I played a lot of Epic Pinball for MS-DOS, and I was excited to get my hands on video pinball for the Atari, and I was really disappointed when it turned out to be a turkey. People tell me this one, let's put it over here, people tell me this one's supposed to be a lot better. So, looking forward to that. And this is CBS Electronics Mountain King, which I believe had a RAM expansion in it, directly on the cartridge. It was one way they figured out how to cheat the system and go beyond the Atari 2600 capabilities, just by including more chips directly on the board, which is clever. I saw this game on Gaming Palooza Empire's Memory Lane series. He played it, and it looked dope. So I'd been kind of stalking it for a while. It's like it's a scarce game, not super rare, but you're looking at like $10 if you want to order yourself a copy. And I'm pretty doped up to play it. I think it's gonna be good. I have a couple of the other CBS Electronics games. Wizards of War comes to mind. That's also a really awesome game. So there's Mountain King. Here's another one I've wanted forever. Skateboarding. I played this game on the Stella emulator. It was the first ever Atari game I played emulated, and I never saw a copy in real life until now. It's the first one. I looked at them on eBay for a while, and it's like $12 or something like that. So that is super cool. It's super cool, and it's the kind of game that it feels like an open area, like an open world exploration kind of game, and you're just trying to find all the ramps and go over them. For the Atari, pretty sweet. Not too many scrolling scrolling exploration games for the Atari. There are some, but not too many. I didn't realize this one was going to be in a box. That's super awesome. We've got Skyjinx. I don't have too many boxed Atari games. I've got a couple. But I didn't have Skyjinx. Let's see. The game is in gorgeous condition. That's so cool, dude. Activision, there's a lot of companies out there that made terrible Atari games. But Activision is one of the few companies that you could really trust. This instruction manual. So I've never played Skyjinx, but I'm looking forward to it. Now I have it in a box. And here is the last piece, which is really what I was most excited over. This is Pitfall 2. I got Pitfall 2. Oh my gosh. OldSchoolNYCGamer, check out the description. I like his intro. I'm not familiar with the song that he plays on the intro, but it sounds a lot like the old H2O music. Old like an old punk track from like 1996, 97. Man, if you're not familiar with H2O from the 90s, the punk band, my gosh, they had some good albums. I liked them a lot. They were a real. H2O appeared in the game Street Skater, which was like a game that got passed around a lot in my circle. One of these PlayStation games where like you could put it directly in the machine and you could run it. Like you could put it in a CD player and you could run it and you could listen to the soundtrack off the CD player. I think the soundtrack was better than the actual game. But I'm getting off track. Let's take a look at this. So I gotta say, man, I've never seen a case like this before. Like this sort of clamshell style for an Atari 2600 game. We've got a cartridge in good condition. It's got a little signature on it. And I'm looking at the signature and I can't tell if that's David Crane. That's not like somebody signing their game or writing their name on their game. That's David Crane. That's an autograph, isn't it? That's dope. I saw David Crane do his 1 hour lecture on oh, does that look weird? Yeah, it does. Doesn't look great. He did a post-mortem on working on the original Pitfall and how that took 1,000 hours and the stuff he did to make that work, and it was really fascinating. The amount of work these guys did to make good Atari games was unbelievable. It really was. They wrote everything in assembly language. There was no high-level programming. So every piece of information you had to map out what register in the machine that it would go to. No simple high-level programming like we have now. What's this? Pitfall Harry's Diary? That is sweet. Dude, thanks, man. Thanks for all this stuff. It's going to be a lot of fun playing the games, the Atari games. My Atari games get played. That's why I buy them. I play them all the time. I've got I've got a CRT that sits on top of a dresser. So I stand in front of it because I usually only have like 1 minute or so. And I got a little notebook that sits next to it, writing down high scores and stuff. Let's see. I'm missing one. Where's it at? I wanted to hold up the stack, but now I'm not finding Skyjinx. Oh, here it is. That's pretty sweet. I'm looking forward to playing these. That'll be great. And now, let's just take a quick look at the books. I wanted to go through the games themselves first, because I didn't want to, go through the books and have it kind of spoil what's in the stack. Let's take a look at this. The Fairchild Video Entertainment System. The best of the video games. Explained. Look at that. I don't know anything about the Fairchild, but doesn't that just look late 1970s to you? Gorgeous. Oh wow, look at this. Look at this old RF switch box, right? When I bought my Atari, that's what it had with it. And this wasn't like in the 80s. It was, I got my Atari probably in like 2000, in the early 2000s, maybe 2004, 2003, something like that. And it had one of those, and it came in a big garbage bag, and the fuzz was just out of this world. I hooked it up to the TV, and it was the fuzziest picture. It was unbelievable. I don't own a Fairchild. Is that what that laser gun thing is for? No, I don't know. That's cool. That's the only catalog like that, I believe. The rest of these are instruction manuals. Super Challenge Baseball, which I don't own, but that's on my get list. The Atari games, the Atari sports games are really bad, but this one's supposed to be pretty good. The Super Challenge sports games are supposed to be pretty fun. This one's definitely on my get list. Tron's Deadly Discs. There was a woman at my church who was good friends with my mother. I remember staying at her house, being babysat one time. And she had an Intellivision, and we played Tron's Deadly Discs, among a couple of games. This is pretty sweet. Star Raiders. I've got a manual now for that game. I have my complete version has a manual, but it's like a complete unplayed version. I don't want to touch it. I don't want to open it. I don't want to do anything like that. So this is awesome. I have a manual I'm actually willing to read now. What else we got? A few of the M Network books. Space Attack. I don't think I have Space Attack, but I like the M Network games. Doesn't everybody just take a hot dump on Pac-Man? Listen, if you're talking bad about Atari Pac-Man, you better have played it. Alright? Atari Pac-Man was the first Atari 2600 game I ever played. It was in that bag, that garbage bag I was talking about a second ago, of all my Atari games. And I first put it in and I was like, well man, I think I just wasted $40. But to me, it strikes me as an example of how any game can be made fun if you have a high score economy, right? If you take a book and you write down all your high scores and you compete with yourself, you can make anything fun. And I ended up really enjoying the original Pac-Man because I got a little high scoreboard. It's a great game. Lock and Chase. I had it on the Intellivision when I was a lad, and I ended up getting it on the Atari. So, yeah, it's another M Network game. I've got this. It's astounding how many of these manuals I actually are games I own already. Here's another just amazing game, Dark Cavern. Holy goodness, that is a good game. It was Night Stalker. I believe it's called Night Stalker on the Intellivision. It was ported over. Here's another one I don't have, but I would really like. Burger Time. Played that on the Intellivision. I got this one for sure. Astro Blast. And we've got, I have this one as well. Air Raiders. And the last book and the last item I have, Asteroids. First party Atari Asteroids. Super common, super awesome. I can't believe it. I'm overwhelmed, dude. I'm absolutely overwhelmed. Well, this is 25 minutes. It's longer than I usually tend to go on in these types of videos. I gotta start getting ready for work now. It's, what is it? It's about 5:30. So, Thanks for the games. The whole day at work, my legs are gonna be chattering. I'll be tapping my desk, just dying to get out of there so I can get home to my Atari, and to my kids, and just check some of this stuff out. What a deal. Alright guys, see you in the next one.